No, so where do you want to start? Because, like, there's a lot to talk about. I
There's a
mean, there's
lot
a
to
lot to
talk
talk
about.
about.
I want to just be kind of scrubbing through these trailers anyway in the background, just like kind of looking at them over.
Yeah. I Yeah. Well, while they're watching that, I mean, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people have questions about, or I think the biggest thing that a lot of people have taken away from the movie is that they're kind of taking, I don't know if anyone is familiar with this in the comment section, but they're using some of the origin story from Dragon Ball Minus. A lot of it looks like it's going to be Dragon Ball Minus influence. So the events of like kind of like how Goku got to Earth and stuff like that is going to be a little bit different. I know a lot of people are like, some people like it, some people don't like it. The fact that Gine is going to be in it, Goku's mom, is really cool. I mean, how do you feel about the whole?
No, I think
how do you feel
cool,
about
man.
that?
Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the origin story always needed like a new, like a fresh take anyway. And then, I mean, it's not a fresh take because it's coming from an older manga, but at the same time, it's like it's new to a lot of people. You know, like even before I seen this, I never read the Minus manga. Not many people have. And then also, I mean, a lot of people had questions about Goku's parents. You know, they had questions about Goku's mother, and even like Raditz. Like we've only seen Raditz like one time in the series, and I mean, from what I've been reading, Raditz is also going to play a pretty decent part in this movie, and maybe we're going to kind of see Raditz actually on Planet Vegeta and like what he was doing then. And apparently, like he was a child prodigy himself. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's pretty cool. One thing about the movie, and I guess we can get into this a little bit later, but I'm like having issues with the CG. I don't know, like me personally, I don't like it. I mean, I guess they can make it cool and stuff, but
no.
I'm not feeling it.
No. I think CG has probably been, it's one of those things where like it's so expensive to do hand-drawn animation, and it takes a lot of it takes a little bit of pressure off of the hand-drawn artist, because I mean, especially with this movie too, because this movie uses a complete new art style for Dragon Ball. It looks great. I love the new art style. I love how simplistic everything looks, but it still looks like everything still looks really detailed. It has like that I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but it has that One Piece effect where like One Piece is super simple. The characters are drawn very simplistically, but the thing is when they want to make them look really exaggerated, they can, when they want to really exaggerate things, they have that wiggle room to really exaggerate things. I know Luffy's a little different because he's got rubber abilities and stuff, but it's got like that One Piece effect where it's simple, but it can still be very, very detailed. So I like that Dragon Ball Super with this new Broly movie that they're doing that. Now with the CG, going back to the CG, I didn't like it in Resurrection. I didn't like it in Resurrection of Frieza. I always thought CG in anime is always a little jarring. It's different if it's a little jarring, but it depends on what it is. Like if it's like an anime character stepping into like a Gundam mobile suit, it's different. I can kind of let that go. But when it's like a CG character fighting another CG character, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like when they do CG, some things get lost in translation a little bit because it's a whole completely different medium that you're working in doing CG, which I mean, me and you both know that. But for people that don't, it's a completely different medium. So it's sometimes in anime it's just a little jarring sometimes. I'm not a fan of it as well, but hopefully like that one scene where Vegeta and Goku are doing the Gallic Gun and the Kamehameha, hopefully maybe that's the one scene where they CG it.
Like watching the trailers and stuff like that, I've seen a couple where they were using the CG. Like even, we're gonna get into this later, but when Gogeta comes, I see a little bit of the CG. But I always like compare it to like you watching an anime and all of a sudden the anime turns into a video game, like with video game graphics. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like
Yeah. Now there's some parts. Now you know the part in the beginning of the trailers, which you guys will see it in the background, but where the space pod is flying through space. That space pod is CG. I believe it is. Now that is CG done right.
Yeah, that doesn't look bad at all.
It doesn't look bad, but like it's a space pod. It's an inanimate object. So like I'm registering that as like, oh, that's like some space pod or something flying through space. So I can kind of let that go. But when I see a human character fight another human character and they're both CG and it's obvious, I don't know, it kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Oh no, same here.
But yeah. I mean, hopefully there's not too many of the CG scenes. I mean, from the looks of all the trailers, it looks like most of the action is going to be hand drawn. Yeah. So it's going to be really, really good. I think it's going to be a great movie. As far as animation,
even coming off of
it already looks like it's on point.
Yeah. No, I'm about to say, even coming off of the anime, like those last couple big fights in the anime were crazy, stupid good. And like, I feel like they put a lot more, money, time, and effort into this movie. So, I mean, I don't have any like worries that the animations and like the fight scenes are gonna look, great or not, but it's just that addition of the CG. I'm not really feeling it, but I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be good either way. I also want to kind of get into, talking about our thoughts on like the story and stuff like that. How we think the story is gonna go, like we see in the first trailer, it's like, Vegeta versus Broly, Frieza versus Broly, Goku versus Broly, and stuff like that. So Frieza is going to have a big part in this movie. Actually, even talking about like going back to the anime where Beerus was saying how like he basically, or Whis was like, Beerus, you know who sent Frieza to destroy the Saiyans and whatever. I was like, that part hasn't been translated into the movie. Like it looks like it's Frieza's plan, but there is one person that Frieza's talking to where it's like, it'd be a good plan to wipe out the entire Saiyans and the planet and the whole thing. And he was like, don't you agree? And he was clearly talking to somebody. So I'm kind of like, who is he talking to in that moment? Like, is this where like we're gonna see the inner workings of like how that happened and stuff like that, with maybe even, Beerus or whatever? Probably not, but
I mean, that's a very good observation. Because we did say like, hey Beerus, weren't you the one who originally ordered for the Saiyan planet to get destroyed? And Beerus is like, shut up, Whis. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's like, shut it up, Whis. So maybe some of that comes to fruition a little bit. I don't know if Goku and Vegeta will ever figure out that Beerus was the reason that Frieza took out, the Saiyan race. I don't know if that'll get revealed or not. If it does, that would be really interesting because that would change Goku and Vegeta's dynamic with Beerus.
It would.
Well, maybe not Goku per se, but Vegeta, because Vegeta was Vegeta's very prideful. So
that's actually funny you said that, because like in a bit, because I've been like reading ahead or whatever, like I've been reading different articles and like watching different videos about like where the manga's going and stuff like that, and I was actually gonna bring that up because after the whole arc and stuff like that, the manga completely skips, a certain arc. And then they kind of get into this next arc and, like, there's a whole conversation between Goku and Vegeta, But I guess we can get into that a little bit later. But, yeah, so I'm kind of glad you said that.
Yeah. So, so I guess, we already mentioned it. I'll go ahead and just talk about it a little bit, like this, just where the movie is taking place. It takes place. So this is the Dragon Ball Super movie, with Broly, which if you clicked on the video,
you already know.
Yeah, you already know. That was kind of silly, but as far as the timeline of this movie, it takes place. I think it's a few months after the Tournament of Power. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, no, but it's a few months after.
It's a few months after the Tournament of Power. So it hasn't been too long since the ending of Dragon Ball Super, the show. Which is funny because I know you were going into this, but the manga completely says that they go on another adventure, and I think they do a panel where it's Goku and Vegeta fighting Broly, and then it skips like an arc. Basically, it basically skips this Broly movie and goes into a whole new arc.
Yeah.
So they're specifically using this movie to be like, hey, after the Tournament of Power, watch the Broly movie, and then once you watch the Broly movie, you can come back to the Dragon Ball Super manga, because the manga's still continuing, and then you can read this next arc of Dragon Ball Super, the manga, if you want to do it in order.
Yeah.
So the manga makes a note to omit, to completely skip over this Broly arc that's gonna happen. Well, because it's for the movie, so they want to save it for the movie, which I get that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's gonna be any good plot devices or plot details in this movie that's going to lead into the next arc in the manga. So I'm definitely interested.
What I was gonna say is, what I think is, obviously Goku and Vegeta fighting this very, very strong, opponent who is Broly. Now Broly's, he's basically giving both of them the hands, and they have to, work together to fight Broly, and then they ultimately have to basically fuse into Gogeta, which obviously the Potara earrings were destroyed, so they had to figure out a new way to combine their powers together, which was the fusion dance, and that's why, Gogeta has become canon. So that's kind of, it's funny how they kind of work that in there to make Gogeta canon. But anyway, they basically...
Oh, bro, you don't hear me complaining.
No, I think it's cool though, because it actually makes sense, and a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball doesn't make sense. And I feel like with this movie, they're kind of trying to tie up some loose ends and kind of make a lot of stuff within the series make sense. Because when you think about it, the Potara earrings were destroyed. I think, yeah, right? They were destroyed or whatever. So now they have to...
When they were fighting Zamasu.
Yeah. So now, to fight this new enemy, they have to find another way to basically combine their powers, which would make them a lot stronger, using fusion, but there's no more Potara earrings, so they decide to use the fusion dance. And basically, Gogeta, he's born and blah, 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 whatever. And they fight Broly using Gogeta. But in the manga, Vegeta and Goku basically declare that they don't want to fight alongside each other anymore. Like, Vegeta's like, yo, I'm done fighting with Kakarot. I want to win on my own, no matter how tough or how hard it's going to be. So I think a lot of that plot can come from the movie itself, because, Vegeta realized he's not that strong, and he's not that strong without Goku, because he's always had to rely on Goku's strength. So now Vegeta's like, you know what? I'm not doing it anymore. And maybe that can kind of tie into the whole Beerus thing too, because Vegeta also kind of put, I guess, his faith in Beerus at one point too. Maybe he's like, all right, cool. I found out that basically Beerus is the one who destroyed my planet, so I'm gonna kind of cut ties with all of that.
I mean, that's interesting. But that goes off on the notion that Vegeta does find out that Beerus is the reason why planet Vegeta gets destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't find out that Beerus was the reason planet Vegeta was destroyed, the whole thing about Goku and Vegeta having to fuse again to fight a very strong opponent, and then Vegeta's like, you know what, I'm tired of having to rely on Kakarot's power to beat my opponent. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to get stronger on my own, and I'm going to, handle my own issues, whatever.
I mean, I see where you're going with that one, but for me, it always comes back to Whis' teachings, back in the resurrection arc, which I really want to more so reference the movie, because I like the movie a little bit better than the Dragon Ball Super art adaptation of it. But in the movie, Whis teaches them. He's like, hey, he tells Goku hey, Goku, you're too Goku, you're too relaxed, you're too relaxed, but you let your confidence get too much, get too big, your confidence is your biggest problem. If Goku, if you can move, you can get to a point where you can move your body without thinking, which that ultimately alluded to Ultra Instinct. Did I say that right? Ultra Instinct? Ultimate Instinct? Yeah,
Yeah.
led to Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, yeah.
Which that was alluded to very early on by Whis, and then Whis also alluded to Vegeta that he's too wound up, he's too high strung, he needs to learn to relax, and then he could like catch up. But now we know Vegeta's very prideful, but we've seen his pride take him to a new height, which was he got his limit breaking form during during the Tournament of Power. So, but Whis did also say that Whis does always mention that if the two of you team up, nobody would ever give you guys problems. So it's like one of those things, like they always, Goku and Vegeta are always like, yeah, we want to do things on our own. They've always been like that since the beginning of the series. It's not like they ever go looking for each other's help. It's just they always end up needing each other's help in one way or another. So maybe in this maybe in the next arc they're like, hey, maybe they do. It'd be very interesting for Vegeta to really be like, hey, I really want to not rely on you like anymore. But like at the end of the day, but for me it's like weird because it's like,
well, no,
Vegeta's very powerful.
Yeah. No, what I was saying is like, yeah, basically within that arc, what I was like reading or whatever, that's basically what Vegeta said. Like, I don't want to, like rely on your power, or whatever. But another thing, Goku mentioned that he hasn't been able to achieve Ultra Instinct since the Tournament of Power, and then that kind of leads the conversation. And then Vegeta says, well, you shouldn't have to try to rely on such gimmicky tactics to win anyway. You should just get stronger or whatever. And then that's kind of where I think that conversation leads to, which we probably shouldn't be talking about because we're trying to discuss the movie, but it kind of just like went out of hand. But it is what it is. Another thing I want to talk about, because I know I talked to you on the phone about it, but the whole like who is going to be the main villain, because we do see in I think the third trailer, them saying, oh, you're not such a bad guy, are you, or something like that. A Goku saying it to somebody, we're assuming it's Broly, and then they're also saying he's not fighting because he wants to, and we're assuming again that they're talking about Broly. And then we do know from the trailers that King Vegeta sent Broly to this remote planet. Paragus got pissed off, and now Paragus says he wants his revenge. So he goes off to, I guess, raise Broly to be this, destructive force, and then they come back not knowing what happened to Planet Vegeta. That Planet Vegeta basically got destroyed. So who's gonna be like the main villain of the story? Like, is it gonna be Paragus and Frieza who kind of teamed up with each other? Because maybe maybe Frieza was talking to Paragus when he was like, wouldn't this be a good plan to get rid of the Saiyans and the whole planet, because Paragus was pissed off, so he joined forces with Frieza. Maybe that's maybe that's like a whole plot twist. But like, yeah, who's gonna be the main villain? Because we see Broly fighting Frieza, we see Broly basically fighting everybody,
The only reason I might slightly be against the idea that Paragus and Frieza are teaming up is because Frieza hates Saiyans. As much as we, I'm gonna say it right now, Frieza is a racist. He hates Saiyans.
We all know. We all know.
I'm just putting it. But we have seen him put it aside. Like, yeah. The perfect example is the Tournament of Power. He did put that aside to fight to get his. He ultimately got his life back, which that's what
for
he
his
wanted.
own selfish reasons, though.
For his own selfish reasons, but he did put aside his differences to fight with Goku and 17, or he did put his differences aside to fight, in the tournament. So it's not per se Frieza can't put his put his hate to the side to for a common goal. He can do that, but I don't think Frieza's the type of guy to be like, oh yeah, we'll team up just because he's really powerful. I feel like as far as who's the real antagonist goes, I'm probably gonna say it's probably gonna be more so Paragus than Frieza. I think Frieza will pop in. He's gonna try to do something. He will fight Broly for a little bit, but I don't think Frieza's going to be that big of a player. I mean, honestly,
I would hope not.
As much
like,
as I really,
so,
as much as I like Frieza, I don't want him to have a big role. He's already had 2 movies.
yeah,
He's already
exactly.
been in He's already been in Resurrection F, and he came back in Tournament of Power, and he's had big roles in it. I know people are Frieza fans, but I'm not done with Frieza. I'm not saying I hate Frieza, but I'm getting a little sick. I'm getting a little tired of seeing him. Just that's my personal.
I mean,
opinion.
exact same. So that's what I was like. How could this movie be a disappointment? No matter how good the movie is, if Frieza ends up being like the main villain or whatever, then it's gonna be not a failure or more so a letdown, because again, like you said, Frieza's already had his movie. He's already had a big role in the Tournament of Power, and then they're coming back with a second movie, well, a third movie, and then having Frieza be the main villain again, or one of the big main antagonists. Is like, we're tired of Frieza. Like, bring back Cell or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something more than just Frieza. But at the same time, Frieza, they've been like building Frieza up within the Tournament of Power anyway. Like, he has his own ulterior motive. So basically, after that happens, we know we were going to see more of him. So I mean, it makes sense for the story, but at the same time, it's like still kind of tired of seeing Frieza so much.
Yeah, now the one thing I am interested in is what Frieza's been up to since the ending of Dragon Ball Super. That's the only thing I'm interested in, really, is what he's been up to. Now, as far as like how the story's gonna play out, they're gonna go the whole, Kakarot was the low class warrior. He didn't have a high power level. He ends up getting sent away. Now Vegeta. Now here's the thing between Vegeta and Broly, because it's funny because Paragus is going to have more of a beef with Vegeta than with Goku, because Vegeta was born with a very high power level, and then King Vegeta, which is Vegeta's daddy, was like, oh, my son is going to be the next, he's going to be he's the prince, like he's going to be the next ruler. King Vegeta's like, he's going to one day take my place. And then Broly was born, and Broly had a higher level of power potential. He had a higher power level than Vegeta, not King Vegeta, but our Vegeta. Yeah. Vegeta. And King Vegeta got worried because he was like, I don't want no one out here stronger than my son. So that's why Broly ends up getting exiled from the Saiyan planet. So he's basically cast off because King Vegeta didn't want to be threatened that there was going to be another baby that had a higher power level than his own son. So he gets exiled. Paragus finds out about that, and then Paragus gets exiled out with alongside his son Broly. So it's gonna be more so Paragus. This is basically more of like Paragus getting back at, because Planet Vegeta's dead. So who's the next person he can get back at? Exactly. Is gonna be Vegeta. You know what I mean? His son. So I mean, I don't know if Paragus is gonna know that Goku is there as well, but it's pretty much to get back at Vegeta. So I think honestly, I'm gonna go on the safe assumption that Paragus is basically the main antagonist, but he's probably controlling Broly some kind of way. Which Goku's like, hey, you're not like this. I think Broly is ultimately being controlled or manipulated some kind of way. Don't know if it's Frieza doing it. Don't know if it's Paragus. I want to pretty much say it's probably Paragus. I
mean, yeah, most likely. But yeah.
But I think that's how the movie's gonna play out. Now, how it's gonna get into the whole Super Saiyan Gogeta and like Gogeta and the fusion, like, I mean, as we know, it's a Broly movie. It's taking a lot of inspiration. It's gonna be fan servicey. I mean, having Gogeta was probably the ultimate fan service. As fan servicey as it can get. But it's gonna be great.
Saiyan
I mean, it's
Gogeta. By the way.
Boy, I can't wait for that card to drop on Dokkan. The stones I'm about to drop. I'm about to drop for that. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, like
the stones.
That's a whole discussion in itself right there.
But yeah, as far as the story goes, like I said, it's Dragon Ball. It's probably gonna be a very easy to follow story. But as long as I enjoy it, and as long as, like, you know, it's Dragon Ball, so you're there for the action. As long as the action's gonna be top notch, from what we've seen, it looks like it's gonna be lit. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that Super Saiyan God Vegeta.
You know, I like it. I
mean, I like it a lot better than like Goku Super Saiyan God form. Like, I don't know.
You know what? You know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is right now. It's because of Vegeta's outfit, because it's predominantly blue and white, but he's got the red hair and the red, you know, eyes. So that red, the red contrasts well with the blue, whereas Goku wears like that orange gi. He wears the orange and blue gi, but the blue is underneath. The orange is what you see on top. So the orange and the red doesn't really mix too well. So that's why it doesn't look too well on Goku. But on Vegeta, it just looks so eye-popping because it's like you got blue and red like right there on top of each other, basically. So it looks really good on Vegeta. I ain't gonna lie. It looks better on Vegeta than it does Goku. But it's just because of the outfit. Like, Vegeta's outfit makes it look better. But yeah, like, oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait for this movie. I mean, everybody know. I mean, well, no one really knows. You know, but I'm a huge Gogeta fanboy. I was hooting and hollering for him to show up in Dragon Ball Super, but Vegito got the spotlight on that one. But to see Gogeta finally be canon is gonna be really, really great. I'm super excited. I'm super excited for that from the latest trailer. Gogeta really like I wasn't even expecting them to do a fuse for this, but like, I mean, to see Gogeta like in the like.
What do you think about his slight redesign?
His slight redesign looks. I like it. I like it. I mean, I'm probably saying this because it's a Gogeta. I'm a Gogeta fanboy. I think his little I think the little, you know, the fusion dance, like the little fusion dance little jacket or whatever that they wear. Yeah. I think it's like a different color. It's like, I think it's like black or something like that. So I think they changed the color on it a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. It's black.
Yeah, so I think Gotenks is a different color. I think Gotenks has a different color on theirs. So I guess they changed the color of it, of the jacket. Yeah, no, I think I hopefully Gogeta doesn't have the same personality as Vegito, because Vegito is kind of like the cocky, kind of fun, like, you know, I'm gonna toy with you a little bit. I'm gonna toy with you. You know what I mean? Like, I can finish you off whenever I want to, but I want to toy. You know, I'm just gonna toy with you. Whereas, like, in the Fusion Reborn movie, Gogeta was about that business, boy. He was like, I'm gonna give you the Soul Punisher, and you just gonna die. Like, Gogeta was just about like getting the job done. So like, hopefully the personality is gonna be a little bit different between Gogeta, so they can kind of make Gogeta his own character separate from Vegito. Hopefully. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I love that Gogeta's back. I love that Gogeta's going to be finally canon. I can't wait for them to drop a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan card on him, because I will pull. I will pull for Gogeta.
Oh, no. I mean, they're going to drop at least like 4 or 5 cards for him. Like 3 or 4 cards for him at the same time, because we get the base form. He's base form in a movie now. Then he goes Super Saiyan, and then he goes Super Saiyan Blue.
Man, you know, on Dokkan they do all those transforming cards now, so they're probably gonna make the Gogeta a transforming card. So we'll see. But yo, we've been talking about this for like an hour.
Have we really?
Yeah, we have. It's 40 minutes. I got 40 minutes. So.
Oh damn. I mean, like, I'm in GarageBand right now, so it only tells me seconds. I have 1,200 seconds right now, so.
Yeah. So.
But yeah,
I mean, that's really it. I mean, I'm excited.
I'm really excited for the movie. I mean, obviously, there's so much more you can go into. Like, even like the little small things that we like kind of talked about just a little bit. We can go deeper into those. But I mean, we have talked a lot about it. You know, thanks for coming on this little, you know, discussion video with me.
No, not a problem, man.
This is gonna be fun to edit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut this one up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Also, in the comment section below, guys. Let us know what you think about all the trailers so far. Super hyped for Gogeta to be canon. I know I am. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, or just on the movie in general. You like it? You hate it? Do you love CG? Do you not like the CG? I want to hear all you guys' thoughts in the comment section below.
And then if you have made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with us again. Down in the comments below, let us know what you think the movie's gonna be about. If you're watching this after the movie came out, let us know how you feel about it. Again, thank you so much for watching. You all have a very, very, very nice day.
Yeah, you guys have a good one.